You don't need a fancy studio to keep creating. Right now, I'm painting at home in the evening in this corner of my bedroom on the table I used to share with my brother when we were kids. And I love being back here because this is where I started painting when I didn't have a studio yet. And I made lots of improvements over time, and I'm going to share with you what I have and how I make it work. Hi, I'm Hélène, I'm an artist, and today I'm giving you a tour of my home setup. I am back to my full-time job as a set decorator for the next few months, and during this period I will paint at home in the evening when I feel like it, and some morning before work if I'm not running late. Okay, so let's start with this, which I think is a very good tip. I have my wet palette and it's always prepared. I always have some paints on here, and it can be some muddy mixes or some fresh paint from the tube, so I can really start painting whenever. And I also have my water jars filled at any time. When I finish a painting session, I will wash my brushes and directly refill them with fresh water, so I'm really ready to go anytime. Then I have this trolley, which is similar to an IKEA trolley, but it's a different brand. And I cut the last level so it fits under the table, and this top part I use in the studio to store paints. I thought I would use it as a side table with this board on the top, but I realized that I prefer to keep it open and have direct access to my apron and air dryer and mainly my paints, which are stored here. And I have in the bottom level mediums and colors, which I don't use so much. And this board I use here on this drawer. So it's giving me an extra space on the side where I can work, for example, on a sketchbook or whatever which needs fine details, because it has direct light, so it's really perfect. I used to do lots of lino cuts here, and it's also nice that you can set aside whatever you don't want to have on your table, so you have your full surface and you have a side table. Another thing I recommend if you have a tight space and if you can is to go vertical. I have this small shelf here, which is from an antique store, and I painted in white because it was too dark. And here everything is in little drawers, which are packaging, recycled packagings, and it's sorted by color and type. So these are the neo colors, rest of the neo colors, soft pastel and ink tents. This is the original box, so I keep it this way. I have here the tiny pencils. This is oil pastels, and here is mark making tools and my clothes and credit cards, which is my favorite scraping tool. And then all my pencils are in pots, so I can just grab them whenever. I have brushes there. Fixative I will use only outside on the window. Here I have the sketchbooks in progress, and this one is for self-portraits. I have my hand mirror. This one is for color samples. This is my playbook, which you might have seen in a previous video. I have some books for inspiration, and this is where I store my collage papers. And they are sorted by colors in compartments, and I rarely take out the whole folder. I just grab what I need. And this table is the one I used to share with my brother, as I said earlier, and this was my half. So now I can enjoy it completely, which is great because it's not that big. And this is how it looked in our apartment. And I'm protecting it with this piece of glass, which I found on the street. And I will sometimes use a scraper to remove paint from the surface. And on the floor, I have this IKEA plastic protection, but it's not big enough and the paint is going also here, so I have to clean it regularly. Enjoying this video? Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. This, which fits under the table, I usually have it in the studio, but I took it home in this case because I have all these little boards in progress. They sell it, I guess, for magazines or records, and it's perfect for panels because they fit in this space. And then I will just put it back under the table, and I can just grab and put back my panels whenever I use them. And when it gets dark or in the winter, I will just switch on the light, and I have second one here, so I have good coverage of the table. And now the pros and cons. Pros, I have no commute and I can literally jump from my bed and start painting. It's warm and it's comfy, there is hot water in the bathroom, I have an art shop on the corner, all my books are in the next room, and I have a few spots in the apartment where I can hang paintings and see how they look in real life. And for the cons, it's a rented apartment, so it means I have to be very careful with everything. It's a shared space, so go easy on the hairdryer and no loud music, and I have to also deal with live things. I can't work very big because of this space, and I think the maximum size I've been working on was 40 by 50 centimeters. I could try 50 by 50, which I like very much at the moment. I don't have any vertical surface to work on except this tiny easel, which I don't like too much. So I'm mostly working sitting at the table, which is not very good for my neck. Whereas in the studio I'm always standing and moving between the wall and the table, and I really prefer that. It can get messy very fast, and honestly I'm not always in the mood to paint when I come from work. Sometimes I just want to be lazy and watch a movie or maybe go out. And when I come to bed afterwards, all I can see is this, reminding me, you didn't paint today. Will you paint tomorrow? You should paint tomorrow. So it's not perfect, but it keeps me going. I hope you enjoyed the tour and maybe it sparked some ideas for your own space at home. And if you noticed anything interesting that I didn't mention in the video, please ask in the comments and I will be happy to answer your questions. Now I'm going to make a journal page and do the last moves on these two panels, and I will update you next time. Bye bye.